We'll move on now to a position player of note that was promoted, and that's Nate George, who is reaching his third level of the season as he gets to jump from Delmarva to Aberdeen. George got off to a torrid start in the FCL this year, and after a pretty brief stint there, was promoted to low A, where most nights he looked like the best player on the field, posting on 164 WRC plus and 186 plate appearances with the Shorebirds, and doing this at a very young age, having been drafted out of high school last year. I think the fact that George went three levels this year is, in and of itself, a huge accomplishment for someone who's 19 years old. And honestly, a guy that if he had put up 775 to 800 OPS in the FCL this year, and that had been it, we would have been happy with that season. But he has accomplished so much this year. And Nick, I'll start with you. I think you can pick apart George's game any way you want. You know, you can look at the power, you can look at the hit tool, you can look at the strikeouts being a little high, maybe the walks a little bit too low, the inefficiency when it comes to stolen bases. But there are five-ish tools here to work with, and what seems to be a very high ceiling. So, what are your thoughts on George getting this bump up to Aberdeen?
Was not expecting this one at all. We just sat here last week doing the top 50 update and talked about Nate George and Esteban Mejia specifically, and how these are both two incredible prospects with ceilings that are so much fun to sit here and dream on who they can become. But they're both teenagers in low A with a lot of growth and development to go. And so let's be excited, but let's be patient. And the Orioles were just like, bet you want to be patient. All right, we're moving up to high A. As a 19-year-old, he doesn't turn 20 until next June. So if he keeps trending like this, he could be in double A or very close to double A as a 19-year-old still. Like, that's pretty awesome to see. So are we still going to remain calm after all this? It depends on these next 4 weeks, because like this promotion was completely earned. And yeah, you talk about the hesitations in his game, but he's got 4 weeks now, and let's see how those areas progress. He only hit one home run in 43 games with Delmarva, but he had 8 doubles and 7 triples. And he's already traded in a big chunk of those ground balls he was hitting in the FCL for more line drives. 55% ground ball rate in the FCL, that dropped to 38% in Delmarva. That entire difference went towards his line drive rate. So I have full confidence that this is trending towards more home runs in the future. And just the hit tool in general, like coming out of the draft, that was one of the bigger questions with George. He really didn't face a ton of elite competition, didn't have a ton of experience out on the showcase circuit and all of that. So a lot of question marks about when he gets into a pro system, how is he going to fare against stronger pitchers? And like, we don't have the granular data that I would love to be able to look at here with the low A guys, but an 80% contact rate and sub 10% swing and strike rate are good initial signs. Like, I'd love to look at more specifics. Just looking at the information we have here, that's pretty solid. And he's a year and a half younger than the average player in low A right now. So 64% above league average at the plate. And that doesn't even begin to address the defense. But yeah, expectations for me for the rest of this year, again, it's just 4 weeks left. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. Like, I'm not putting any firm expectations on stats I want to see or anything like that. I'd love to see him be a little bit more efficient on the base paths. Maybe see if he can start tapping into a little bit more of that over the fence power over these last couple of weeks. But honestly, he's 19 years old. He's in high A, 3 levels, 16th round draft pick that no one had heard of coming into the draft. And here we are now. He's on top 100 prospect list. So I just want to enjoy the ride for those 4 weeks. He's in Aberdeen this year.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that the numbers under the hood, the analytics are pretty strong because, 81st on the Baseball America top 100 now, 33rd on Prospects Live's Ross Jensen's personal top 100 list. I want to get out to Aberdeen one more time this year, at least, to see him hit a gap and just cruising for a triple. That is a big outfield. I could see him having definitely some hustle doubles and triples in the next couple of weeks. But man, what a rise. And it's funny that I'm not going to call this person out, but someone was like, I thought, Nate George was really popping off in FCL and he kind of quieted down in low A. And I'm like, man, how fast expectations change, because he had like around 9% walk rate in FCL. about the same in Delmarva. He had like a 16% strikeout rate in FCL, about the same in Delmarva. ISO is slightly down, mostly because he hit a couple home runs in the FCL, and those translated to doubles and triples in low A, like Nick said. And the WRC plus was like 179 to 164. So basically the same player at the two different levels. And we'll see if he can have a WRC plus over 110 even, or 100 in Aberdeen. That's pretty damn impressive. 19 years old and only 2 months. Yeah, he's a breakout. There's no doubt about it. Big time breakout prospect.
And he's joining at the right time because Aberdeen is coming off this huge week. We're going to talk about one player in particular later on in a minute here that had a big week. Like now they get to add just this electric player and personality in Nate George. We said coming into the year that Aberdeen was going to be the affiliate to watch, and then they were the affiliate that really struggled this year and really made us the most frustrated. But now these last couple of weeks, it's back to Aberdeen is must watch TV for many reasons. If you want to get out to the ballpark one last time before they're part of the draft league and no longer part of the organization, and you also get to see a lineup full of some pretty exciting prospects now, or at least guys who are starting to hit their stride here at the end of the year, which better late than never.
Yeah, not only are the Ironbirds getting a little bit more interesting with the addition of George and then some of their hitters stepping up, which we're going to talk about in a moment here, but